Hello and welcome to Songs for the Struggling Artist, the blogcast. This is episode 494. My name is Emily Rainbow Davis. Hello and welcome. I'm back. I was not really gone before, but I couldn't really speak. If you listened to that rebroadcast introduction, you know how little voice I had to be giving you last week. But it's mostly returned. It's been a week. The allergies. I went to a residency up in the Hudson Valley, so I was going north, and I thought, oh, it's a little chillier up there. Maybe the spring will be less allergic. Maybe it hasn't started yet up there, and I'll escape the pollen. And no, spring just kicked off while I was there. So I got 2 rounds of the initial allergies. Anyway, it's you can hear it a bit, but at least I can get through a song, and I have more than a couple of pitches to enjoy in my speaking voice. Phew! It was good times. Sometimes when I wake up, it'll still sound like that, but it usually passes quickly. So here I am, back on the game, and this blog is one that I actually wrote back in January, and I've just had other ones that sort of step forward and take its place every time I thought about posting it, and then I thought, okay, well, it's about New Year's Eve. Maybe I should wait and just post it at the end of this year. And then I was like, that's silly. I'm not sure that it is silly. It could have been good, but the fact is I would have forgotten it. So I figured I'd share it with you now, even though it is not New Year's season. But, this way you can plan for it if you want. If you want to. Anyway. Let me read it to you. It is called What Happened to First Night? Every New Year's Eve, my friend and I wish we had a first night celebration to go to. We both went to many first nights in our youth and wish such a thing were happening here in New York City. The way first night worked was that you'd buy a button that gave you entry to an abundance of arts events, all packed together in a night of performances, leading to a finale of fireworks. It was a great way to spend the last night of the year and take in a lot of local arts culture in one big burst. It kept a lot of artists working and was a lovely way to bring a community together. For a while there, first nights were growing and spreading across the country. At their peak, there were 262 spread across the land. That was in 2000. Now, it's hard to get a handle on where they might still be happening. The one in my hometown keeps getting canceled and postponed. They haven't had a first night since 2020. The one in Boston is a shadow of its former self. It used to have something like 1,000 performances on the night. Now they seem to just have a couple of venues that host some rather lackluster performances. It all just feels very sad. And I don't know what the story is. I'm sure the story is different in every municipality. But I have a theory that this diminishment of the first night experience is part of a more general development in the support and funding of the arts. Like a lot of arts organizations, first nights tend to be run by boards, and those boards are rarely made up of artists. They are usually populated by business people. Those business people are big fans of the arts, of course. They are there because they want to help and they want to see the arts succeed and continue. But often, business people use business metrics to measure the success of arts organizations, and sometimes they push them towards business solutions. Boards want to see their arts organizations of choice become more sustainable, to stand on their own 2 feet. They're not pushing them to make a profit necessarily, because these are mostly nonprofits after all, but, be able to keep themselves afloat with their own oars. And some organizations can do that, but most cannot. The arts are not a sustainable business. They are unlikely to ever make enough cash to just keep going without significant support from somewhere. In other countries, that support comes from the government because those countries understand that the arts are a public good that serves the people. In this country, the support comes, if it comes, from donations. Over and over, I've seen incredible arts organizations fold due to ambitious boards who were trying to wrangle a company into a business model that they were unable to sustain. Theater companies built buildings because they could solicit capital funding, but then fell apart not long after because they could not keep making the art with the debt or sustain the upkeep of their new building. This is always framed as a problem on the part of the artists and/or administrators, but I suspect it's more likely an ambitious, business-minded board, with good intentions, of course, encouraging growth or pursuing business leads or chasing capital or something of the like that cratered the arts organization. It's a lot of work to produce art, and a lot of business people want it to work, and that's usually how they kill it. The arts, and especially things like First Night, are a public good. They are not a business venture. They will never sustain themselves for very long. I want First Night back, and I want business out of art in general. I doubt either is likely to happen, but that's what I want. Maybe next year's New Year's Eve, we can talk about a new First Night kicking off somewhere. And we'll buy buttons and have a ball. In putting the links together for this, I discovered that the Boston First Night actually stopped doing buttons and started just having everything be free for a little while. I think it might still be, which is good. That's a nice development. But it also is a shadow of its former self. And shout out if you have a First Night where you live. Maybe it's time to travel on New Year's Eve. We don't have one here in New York. I think it would be hard to get one going here. There's such a dominant New Year's Eve event. It's hard to imagine where else that something else might be possible. The city's sort of held hostage by the ball in Times Square. But it would be so cool. It would be so cool to have a New York City First Night. I'm not going to start it. I know someone will say that, and I in my youth I might have, but boy, that's a big job. Anyway, if you have one where you are, let me know. So what song am I going to give you? Well, I looked up songs about first nights, and there's a lot of songs about, the first night, but it's usually like the first night we met or the first night we had sex or the first night, I don't know. It's like a first night in a relationship, kind of. The first night we kissed, those kinds of songs. There's a lot of those, which is nice. I hadn't heard any of them, so I enjoyed them. And then, of course, the classic New Year's Eve song, which I couldn't remember at first. I knew there was one, and it's called What Are You Doing New Year's Eve? And it's actually perfect because I feel like it could be from now, because she's asking, what for the person's plans on New Year's Eve well in advance. And one imagines maybe the song takes place in October or something. But I like it even more if you imagine it's someone making New Year's Eve plans in April. There's something about that pleases me. So that is the song that I will give you shortly. I'm singing it at least a half step, maybe a full step down from where I had planned to sing it, but that's what we could do here with this situation. So I'm going to play that for you in just a moment. But meanwhile, I thank you so much for listening. If you like this podcast, please tell someone about it. Like, review, subscribe, do anything you can do for a podcast in your podcast app, like a click on stars or review or subscribe. These are all things you could do. And if you'd like to support it with money, that would be amazing. Patreon.com/Emily R. Davis. There's also Ko-fi. There's PayPal. You can do a paid subscription on Substack. And if you have some other methodology for supporting artists, let me know and I'll get on it. But mostly, I thank you for your attention, for your ears, for sticking with me, and for listening. It's nice that you're here. Really. So I will now give you what are you doing New Year's Eve? And I just looked it up just this moment because I didn't know who wrote it. And I thought, oh, I should know that. And it's Frank Lesser. And my favorite little thing I just read on Wikipedia is that his daughter said he was very annoyed when people sang this around the holidays, that he intended it for someone who's so in love and planning too far in advance for New Year's. So I feel quite vindicated in my desire to sing it here on April 20th. This is what Frank Lesser wanted. I am here to provide. Anyway, I'm sure I'm not doing his chords because I found a version which is much easier. I am sure the chords that he wrote it to be played with are not these, but they're fine. I'm sorry, Frank Lesser, and happy to be doing it at your preferred time of year, I think. Okay, so here it is. It's What Are You Doing New Year's Eve? When the bells all ring and the horns all blow and the couples we know are fondly kissing, will I be with you or will I be among the missing? Maybe it's much too early in the game. Oh, but I thought I'd ask you just the same. What are you doing New Year's Eve? Wonder whose arms will hold you good and tight when it's exactly 12 o'clock that night, welcoming in the new year, New Year's Eve. Maybe I'm crazy to suppose I'd ever be the one you chose out of the 1,000 invitations you received. Ah, but in case I stand one little chance, here comes the jackpot question in advance. What are you doing